Hello, my art friends. How are you? I hope you're good. I am well. I just wanted to give you a better explanation of what I meant by let's do a watercolor exercise together. Because I found I used to skip these basic watercolor exercises in books all the time because I was like, oh, I know all this stuff. Brush strokes, wet on wet, things like that. I would skip them because I just thought I'm intermediate or whatever. And then I saw a video, Thecherrypipangel on her YouTube. She was doing a sketchbook flip through, and she had these sketchbooks. She was teaching herself watercolor. This was in the very beginning. I don't know. She is phenomenal. Please go to her channel. And she had pages and pages and pages of brush strokes that she would do, of what pages and pages of wet and wet. But these pages were gorgeous. And something suddenly hit me, and I was like, I literally bought, I think, 4 of the books that she showed on that video, and that she talked about. And so I don't skip the beginning anymore. And what I do is instead, what I would do is I would come to my art desk and I would get on here and start reading emails, and then I'd start scrolling, and then next thing I know, 3 hours have gone by and it's noon and I haven't done any art yet, and then the day is gone. And so what I do now is I got rid of a lot of those newsletters that I was trying to get the good news from. I don't need, if something's going to happen, I'll find out what happens. And then I in the beginning I forced myself, but now I don't have to. I look forward to it. I do like 1 lesson per day. So the first day I did 3 because I couldn't stop. And if I kind of like what I'm doing, or the lesson's short, I'll do 2 lessons or something like that. But what it does is it gets my juices flowing to do art, you know? And I'll share a PTSD story towards the end of this video of how these exercises help me as well. But I wanted to share with you the books that I have right now, and I wanted to show you the exercises I have done, and I wanted to explain further what I mean. And I'll show you like some of the pages of these books and what these step-by-step instructions are and things like that. And you're gonna want to get these books as well. Let me tell you, wait till you see some of these books. I have more on the way as well. So when they start coming in, and when I'm doing art classes and stuff like that, because I'm gonna do, I will video me doing some of these lessons, not all of them, but some lessons here and there, and then I'll share those books, the newer books with you. So let's come to my desk and let's look at these books that I do have right now. You're gonna love this. Come on, come with me. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna share these books with you. I broke down. I couldn't stand anymore. I put the AC on. I was sweating. My coffee makes me sweat. So this was the first book that I did, Discovering Watercolor by Jennifer Lefebvre. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this was fun, and I'll show you my lessons that I did. But I just love that I can follow along and get detailed instruction on what to do. Yes, I read all of this, even though I think I know everything. You never know what you can learn. So I did read every single thing, learned about pigments and stuff like that. I love learning about pigments and all that, brushes, things like that. And then let's get to then papers. They talk about paper. I read every single, I used to skip all this stuff because I thought I knew. Nope. So here, give it a try. So they tell you what you need, and you can buy this stuff if at Five Below. I've bought alcohol markers there, sketchbooks and things like that, marker books, even Walmart. Walmart has some paints and things like that. If you just want to get started and don't want to spend a lot of money, do that. But I highly recommend really good paper, really good watercolor paper, or else you won't really get the full effect. So diversifying. So then she also talks to other artists and things like that, which is nice. So here we go, playing with textures, pigments, and she tells you how to give it a try. And we do. Understanding color, creating a color chart, and things like that. And I will show you working with handmade watercolor. So she talks to other artists and things like that. So I'm not going to show you every little page, but I will show you what I did in my book. But this is just so much fun. And let me just show you one thing. Actually, I'll tell you when I show you in the book. So that's one. The one I'm working on now is Painting Calm. This book, just want to make sure you're in there. Painting Calm by Inga Davis, which I don't think I'm saying. This is a beautiful book. Beautiful book. And I am doing this one right now. And it's just, look how pretty that is. And I read all this. I want to come back and paint these. Talks about all the stuff, getting started, materials, etc., supplies, and then the classes. Really teaches you about lifting, effects, wet on wet. It's the things like that. Cauliflower blooms. I did do this. I showed you that. I'll show you again. But yes, this is a really, really beautiful book, and it does and you'll do different flowers. You'll do things like this, exercises. She tells you, mix sap green with a touch of green gold paint. Add lots of water. This is further on in the book, but as you go step by step. Take you from, creating color swatches to doing paintings and projects and things like that. So I love Painting Calm. This is what I'm working on right now. Now I got this, A Year of Watercolor by Harriet De Winton. And I'm like, you know what, January's starting, how do I do this? So I gotta figure out how I'm going to do this. Do I wanna be tied down to, doing it by season, or am I just going to do it? Just do the book. But see how we start, and I'm not going to skip this. It tells you, bulldog clips, washi tape, things like that, but supplies. Then she tells you about wet on wet painting techniques. Again, I will practice this. Strokes, see? Doing basic brush strokes, curves, S's, and you'll do do a line of S's, do a line of C's. That's what I'm gonna do, things like that. Petals, leaves, you're gonna practice all this. I haven't really looked at this book thoroughly, but I can't wait to start doing, because this will be my third book. So when I get into this, I think I will get started. Look at even drawing techniques. So you do get, it's kind of like videos. I love videos, but you know what? There's something about a book too. And you could do both, Look at this. Oh, I can't wait to do this. Paint the leaves with your size 2 brush. They do go into detail and tell you, how to do these things. That's one. So now this next series of books, you are gonna love. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Let me make sure I put them in order. I believe this is workbook 3. This is workbook 2. So this is number 1. Watercolor Workbook. It even tells you Watercolor Workbook by Sarah Simon. I guess she's very famous in the watercolor world. Not only is this a beautiful, wonderful book, but it is made on watercolor paper. Look at that. This is watercolor paper, and she will tell you step by step how to do these. I can't wait to get to these. All of these are step by step. Let's see, introduction, and then she'll tell you, what colors you're going to use, your materials, your paint palette, water, water jar, things like that. She'll show you step by step, wash, wet on wet, wet on dry, and then how to do a wash. You know, start with that watercolor. So you'll do your washes here. Oh my God, look at that. Isn't that cool? Mixing colors. So I can't wait to do so you start out slow, and she'll show you blotting, and you do it right here on watercolor paper. This is number 1 in the series. This is number 2, this is in the series, Flowers, Feathers, and Animal Friends. And I'm thinking that the beginning is pretty much the same in all 3 books. I think I'm not gonna skip it. I'm still gonna do it. But even though they're the same in the beginning of all these books, I'm still gonna do it, because the more you do, the better you get. That is our motto. The more you do, the better you get. So repetitive instructions and lessons is good. This is new, painting boundaries. And things like that. This is nice, talking about florals. And you'll do it again. You'll do your wash. I will do it. Blotting and boundaries. Because it's on watercolor paper. Look at how great this is. I love this book. It's all on watercolor paper. And you'll learn, and they show you how to do. You can do shading. Ooh, look at the mint shading. So this is going to be so much fun. So much fun. Oh, I can't wait. Look at the fox. And then you learn how to shade and do probably wet on wet. And it's watercolor paper. So cool. And the third one is Cafe in Bloom. 25 beginner-friendly projects. 25 and 30-minute beginner botanical projects. Oh, I can't wait. This is so let me just see. Yep, same beginning, but so what? So what? The more you do, the better you get. Oh, watercolor paper. And then she shows you how to do all this stuff. Oh, my favorite. I love doing tomatoes. I love doing food. And it's just, oh, I can't wait to get to these. Color recipes. I think this is new. Oh, I can't wait to do this. It tells you do lemon yellow and cobalt blue, titanium white, lemon yellow, cobalt blue. Oh, hydrangea. So you can make your color recipes. Practicing that. Oh, I can't wait to do these. Who knows when I'll get to, because but I'm gonna do them. I can't wait. Can't wait. Look at that shading. It's nice. This is so much fun. So those are the 3 books in the Sarah Simon series. I don't know if she has others, but believe me, totally worth it. So then here's another, this one, these are a little older, so it'll be harder to find, but sometimes if you can't find these books, go to the Internet Archive. You might have to follow on the internet, but internetarchive.org, at least it's free, and you can follow along on there. But this, I think did I start, or no, I just threw this in here. Pen and ink, I think I might have done one class, or I'm not really sure. I think I might have started with this book, and I didn't finish for some. Yeah, I did start with this book, and it's in, I'll show you in the techniques. But look at all these basic techniques. So much fun. Yes, I'll show you what I did. And I think I stopped there, and this is where I have to return. I don't know why I didn't. I probably got the other books that I wanted, because this is more advanced, so I think I wanted to wait, because I have these all in the order that I want to do them. And she also has this other one, creating textured landscapes. Same thing, basic tools and techniques and things like that. This one, and hers, because she does pen and ink, and you could do parallel lines, cross hatching, honeycomb. She'll show you, exercises on that, wet wash, and this is combining watercolor and pen and ink, which I absolutely love, So I can't wait to get to these. I love the way this is written and it's not typed. Oh, I love that. Absolutely love this. So that's what, I can't wait to get painting pastoral hills. See, she'll tell you how to do these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 2. Yep. So you do get instructions on how to do things. Oh, I just can't wait. So these are the books. So let me show you what the exercises that I have. So I did start with Claudia Nice, and this is when I have been inspired by the Thecherrypipangel YouTube videos. I'm going to do art exercises, back to the basics. Yep. And then I practiced the pen and ink techniques, placing light objects with dark. So I did practice that. Let me make sure this is in so you can see. This was Claudia Nice too. I showed you. This is a round 8, and you know, just dry surface techniques, fan brush over dry, and I wrote down what I did. You know, things like that. Damp surface techniques, painting over white pencil. You know, so I did the practices, but I also recorded what I did, so it wasn't really willy-nilly, so I have an idea what I did. Wet on wet techniques, spontaneous wet on wet, flat and round over wet, different kind of brush strokes over wet, round brush, touch to wet, things like that. Water filled round, touch to a wet wash. All these practices, lifting. Lifting with a paper towel, things like that. Then I did the salt and alcohol techniques and crumpled wax paper. All these things, I mean, they're just fun. And then I moved to the Discovering Watercolor book by Jennifer LaFleur. I created my chart. I did some exercises here. Did some blending. Did some halo effects, layering, contrasts, creating color palettes. This was fun. What you would do is you go to any pictures, Pixabay, whatever, grab a picture, and from that picture, what are the colors? Create a color palette. This was an old shack. This was a boat and buildings, an urn and flowers. This was fun. And then creating a palette. Color values, making colors, painting things that were not their normal color. That was fun. Then we started doing all these florals towards the end of the book or in the middle of the book, and that was fun. And then this was the last, these two were the last, this was the last lesson I did in the book. This was on YouTube. Ollie Pyle is cool too. And then Helene happened, and I was just I did put a lot of important stuff in a tub. I think I might have put my favorite art supplies in a tub with my important papers and things like that. And then the place flooded, so then I had 2 days to grab whatever I could that was not flooded, and I grabbed as many art supplies as I could. I did have this book. I already had this pile of these books, so I grabbed those books and threw them in another tub, and I was just like dazed and confused for several weeks. And I stayed with a friend for a couple of weeks through Milton and all that stuff, almost 3 weeks. Then I finally got a place in Sarasota for a month to figure out what I was going to do, because I was homeless. My apartment was gone. They said it was going to be a year, but there was a possibility that I could get another apartment in the same building, but on the 3rd floor. So I was like, okay. So as I was at Sarasota, the mobile home, I started doing this exercise, the herbarium. It took me 3 days to do this leaf. But the reason I'm telling you is because I use these exercises. I'm going to start crying in a minute. I use these exercises to get me back into art, doing my art. I was sitting at a kitchen table, really uncomfortable chair. It took me 3 days to do this leaf, but I did it. And I just kept on going, because I was going through a lot of major PTSD as well. So I just want to say, not only do I love art, but it just helps me immensely. And I hope it helps you too. And maybe that's why some of us do art. It just makes doing art makes me feel good. If I do tutorials for the rest of my life and never do original art, I would be just fine. But I do like to do original art too, and I like to share it with you. But yeah, that's why this means so much to me. I might even take this out and frame it, because it really meant, see, and so the healing begins. And I just wanted to share that with you. That's why I love doing these exercises. It can kind of get you out of a funk. That's why I do them in the morning, because it gets me going, and I won't sit there scrolling on the internet for 3 hours and then it's lunchtime, you know? I love these exercises. This was Opal and Mint I was doing, and I did a lot of Opal and Mint watercolor blooms when I was there too. So this is these are more lessons that I did in that book, the first book. That was the last lesson. So that is that. I don't think there's any more. It's just swatching. So that was that on that book. So then I thought, I thought that sketchbook was really big. So I during was it Amazon Prime Day or one of those days, I saw these books. There's 3 of them. They were like 3 for $19, and it's probably cellulose or whatever, but I just like this size for my exercises. So that's what I do. So this was the next book. This is Painting Calm. This is when I started Painting Calm. And then Black Friday I got these, that's right. And I just did round craft, but these are my brush strokes. These and the 6s that the ones that I like, the Heritage, Princeton stuff. Then the Dagger, trying to learn the cat's tongue. I could not get that. Just want to make sure this is in focus for you. Then I practice wet on wet, and you practice all these different things. This was timed. You put wet on wet, and then you wait. This is right away. Then you wait a minute, 2 minutes. I think I did it wrong. I wet it, but I didn't wet it evenly. But you know, I was learning, and these are just lessons that I did. These are just basic, everyday lessons, just to get you going in the morning. They don't have to be special, but I did like this. And you can take a little, so we did exploring pigment interaction and making planets. So I made my own planets. That was my favorite one so far. And then this, just adding a little bit more water each time to the pigment. That was fun. I mean, these are easy things, easy. Color wheel, I showed you that I did this on video. And then I just did this one. This was color filter. This was adding a specific watercolor paint or pigment to every single one of these. So I used Quinn Gold, and I added it to all these different other pigment, other paints, other colors. And it kind of makes everything kind of go together. And it kind of does really. And color proportion and things like that. So that was the last lesson that I did, and I just wanted to share this with you, and I wanted to further explain what I mean when I do watercolor exercises, so that when you see that I'm, let's do a watercolor exercise together, this is what I mean. And I will do when I do a couple here and there. I'm going to do one a week. And I will share the page that I'm doing, and we'll do the exercise together. I won't do every single page, because that's not really fair to the author, but I mean, I think sharing at least 1 or 2 pages and doing them together will get you going, and you might want to go get that book. And then as I get other books, I will share all the other books with you. I got so many more. Oh, I got one more book that I got. I'll share it with you next time I do a video. Because I got so many. I am a book nut. And all my books are now safe and not on the bottom shelf of any of my shelves from now on. But I am on the 3rd floor, so I feel very happy. I feel very secure. And so glad you guys are here with me. I wanted to explain that further, and I hope that you might want to do some of these along with me. Also, I have the list of all of these books are in the description. I kept saying that before, and then I realized I did not have those books in the description. So you can get these on Amazon, and they're all in the description. If you can't, there are some places that, like internetarchive.org, where you can look at books for free. I don't know if all these books are out there. And then there's a YouTube woman called Art Book Nook. She goes through these page by page. So if you want to follow her as well and look at some of her videos, that's how I think because of her, I think I got a couple more. So there's a ton of art book YouTubes out there. That's how I've got curated a list. I still have a long list. But I figured let's do these first. Gosh, this is probably really long now. So now when I say let's do a watercolor exercise together, now you know what I mean. And I'm so glad I got to get that explained to you guys a little further. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.